welcome the 57th governor of the great state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Good morning, good morning. Wow, please be seated. Who traveled the furthest in an ice storm this morning? Northland, Stephen Tucker. I knew Rob may be second. Great to see everybody. That just shows the gritty spirit of upstate New York. And we're all connected, and I suspect many of you came here on the I-90, a great connective tissue that follows the path of the Erie Canal that we're celebrating its 200th anniversary this very year. But the canal has been replaced by a highway, the thruway, and it's been a place where we link millions of New Yorkers. But it's also a huge artery of commerce, and it's really become the innovation corridor for our state. And that's why this Onramp initiative, you know what Onramp means? It's how you get on the superhighway, right? You have to get on the on-ramp first. That on-ramp creates the opportunity for people who otherwise might be left in the ditch or on the side of the road to be able to participate and be part of this incredible thoroughfare. So Onramp is a new initiative, and it connects the backbone of so many of our workforce development sites all across this fascinating corridor. And there's places where thousands of New Yorkers will develop skills they never dreamed possible, and even jobs that didn't exist when they were in grade school or high school, and older ones, it's even college. These jobs didn't even exist. No one knew what they were. And they're also high-paying jobs, which is what I'm so excited about in technology and advanced manufacturing. So today we gather to announce a major update on our on-ramp investments. And I do want to thank the people who join us, our elected leaders. We've had many people acknowledge, but I want to thank our county executive, Dan McCoy. You'll be hearing from him shortly for his particular vision for this property. Our mayor, Kathy Hochul, doing an incredible job over her many years of service. Our newly minted senator, one of the most experienced senators because she was an assembly member for so many years before that, Senator Pat Fahey. Assemblymember John McDonald, thank you very much for being a great champion for this area. Assemblymember Gabrielle Romero, thank you. Happy to see you. Also, you're going to be hearing from an individual who works at GlobalFoundries, but he's going to tell you the story of how it almost didn't happen, that there was a path that didn't exist before, and he was able to find it. Leo Saldana, you're going to hear from him shortly. Let's give him a round of applause as well. And the leader of Empire State Development, who covers as much territory as I do, our leader, CEO, President Hope Knight. Thank you for coming. What we're talking about is finding a way to deliver more jobs, more opportunities, and revitalizing communities and properties like this one, and helping them reimagine their future. That's how we become a more prosperous state. And you know what my priorities are. I was very clear. Anybody attend my State of the State address last week, a couple weeks ago? Okay, all right. What did I say? Affordability, public safety. Public safety, affordability. It comes down to those two cornerstones of what is expected of all of us in government to deliver for the people of New York. And I laid out my priorities very clearly, and it's about helping families get ahead, putting forth an affordability agenda, whether it's the millions of dollars in middle-class tax cuts, the largest in 70 years, whether it's the inflation rebate, you've heard me explain it, which says because all of you and our citizens paid so much in sales tax, everything they bought was 15, 20% higher. We collected more in sales tax in the state. Now, that was good for us, but it wasn't so good for our residents. So I said, we can't keep this money. It's not ours. Let's put it back in their pockets. So families will receive $500 back in their pockets. And child care, you know, one of the greatest expenses, and the cost of raising little kids, we're putting more money back in people's pockets. And so we're doing so much more, even universal school meals. I mean, think about this, what this means to families, to not have to have the extra $1,600 spent or the time spent. It's a great equalizer now. Something that's important to people in this room, too, is community college. Even with what we consider fairly low-cost tuition, it adds up. by the time you pay for the tuition, the books, the materials, up to $8,000 a year. We have said that if you're an individual 25 to 55 years old and you either had not thought about getting a degree beyond high school or you just found a job or an opportunity that required it, let's make that available to you and make it free. Free for all these individuals in high-need skills like nursing, education, and advanced manufacturing. This is how we draw more people, get them the training, get them into the jobs that are begging for workers. This is what I hear from employers. And I'm glad to hear this, because when I was growing up, there were no jobs. Our greatest export from upstate New York were our young people, including most of my family. It's changed now. The jobs are here. We have to make that connection between the people, the training, and then the jobs. It's that simple. That's how you make New York more prosperous. So I'm very excited about this. And this is where Onramp comes in. We announced last year $200 million. It was very simple. We wanted to provide New Yorkers, especially those who start out life in a more disadvantaged community. They have extra barriers. They don't have role models necessarily in their own home or their own families. They don't have the nurturing environment that other communities may have. It's sometimes harder to get that ticket out, to get a better job and come back to that community and reinvest in it. How you create generational wealth, which is so important. They just need the skills to find these jobs because the jobs are there. And we're talking about great companies. Anybody here of Micron? Okay. Rob? It's all we talked about since my first day as governor. How to land America's largest private sector investment in history right here in upstate New York. And the ripple effect is not just for central New York, it is all over the state. Indeed, all over the country. We build advanced manufacturing, make semiconductor chips. So we're not so reliant on foreign supply chains, which can be so disrupted. And I won't even say the word tariffs because I don't know where we're going with that. But Micron, GlobalFoundries, our neighbor here, one of the early pioneers, the true believers who said we can do this here in New York and defied all the odds, but boy, have they been growing. It's so exciting to see them. Wolfspeed went to their ribbon cuttings down the road, I-90. IBM, $20 billion investment in quantum computing. They're doing that right in New York State. Countless other jobs and opportunities. So here's the good news, friends. There's no shortage of opportunities. Unemployment is low. I just need more trained workers. Our employers need more trained workers. We have 400,000 open jobs in the state of New York right now. Right now. So the Onramp fills that gap, helps pave the road, brings the asphalt, fills in all the potholes, the empty spaces, right? And it takes a holistic approach to workforce development that is generally transformative. I will tell you from the beginning, I've never liked the phrase workforce development. Sorry, Steve and everybody else. But didn't I tell you this? I told you, come up with a more catchy phrase, like workforce development sounds like, but you know what, behind those words, it's life-changing, it's powerful. We gotta work on the branding, but it's powerful. It's powerful, right? And the on-ramp is what we're talking about, but here's what we're talking about, not just the skills training, but wraparound services, understanding that people, in order to be lifted out of their circumstances, have to get transportation and partnerships with human service providers in the neighborhood. Child care, one of the great barriers to bringing more women into the workplace. Who's taking care of the kids at home? We're training the workers of tomorrow while looking after their needs today. That's how you get ahead as a state. And we're going to build on the proven success of a place called Northland Workforce Training Center. And Stephen Tucker, please stand up. I want to give you recognition for what you did in Buffalo. 62% of their students have graduated, 3 times the national average for community colleges. 3 times the national average. 83% of the graduates find employment, and that other 17%, I'm not sure what they're doing. The jobs are there, right, Stephen? I've toured that so many times. I saw the model. I saw success involving the community, the local jobs, the community colleges. I saw how that was working, and I said, why not all over the state of New York? Why not export this, spread it all over, especially down the I-90 corridor? And We know how to do that now. We have the formula. We'll have opportunities to tear down the roadblocks. As I mentioned, we have Leo Saldana today, who's a graduate of a workforce development program. And the skills he learned, he'll talk about what that means to his life and his family now. And I'm sure it's going to simply change lives. And so, in addition to what we did at Northland, we're also going to announce today 3 more regions. We go big or we go home. We go big or we go home. We're going to go bigger. We're going to build more. Now, Rob Stinson, we're going to do it again in Syracuse. This is how you meet the Micron moment, the opportunity. Finger Lakes at the Onramp will be at the Monroe Community College in Rochester, a place I visited countless times. I see what they're doing there. It is so innovative. Mohawk Valley Onramp Center at the Mohawk Valley Community College in Utica. We're going to make sure Utica is part of the story. Have I forgotten any area? Capital Region Onramp, led by the Center for Economic Growth. And I'm proposing it not just right here in Albany, but how about on the college campus, the former College of St. Rose, right here, right now. Let's get it done. And this is being developed with industry leaders. I mean, we can't do this in a vacuum. We have to ask the business leaders, what do you need? What skills do you need taught? I've been saying this since I was a member of Congress. What do you want us to do? You're the ones who are driving innovation. You also know what skills you're going to need 5 years down the road. This is what businesses do. They think long term. We need to start thinking long term, teaching skills now that someone's going to need 5 years from now. That's how you win the competitive race, the global economy. And New York is right at the forefront of that. So that's how we're going to continue working. In the Finger Lakes, we'll work with Plug Power, Edwards Vacuum, I'm so excited. I actually called the CEO when I was there in London. I had to work on the time zone there. I said, how would you like to come to upstate New York and be part of the whole synergy with Micron coming and others? And they're here as well. Bausch and Lomb, legacy companies. Never forget our legacy companies. The ones who never gave up on our state, even through good times and bad. Bausch and Lomb. Kodak. It's been Kodak. They're on fire. They're doing great things now. And too many others to name. Mohawk Valley, we have Danfoss, Indium, Wolfspeed. I mean, they're all going to be beneficiaries of this, but we want their voices at the table right now. This is where it makes sense. And we're going to be working with the Capital Region, GlobalFoundries, Regeneron, GE, and so many other companies right here as well, because this is the place people will understand. If you're a company in the Capital Region or within the surrounds, come here. A place that, since the last graduating class came through after 100 years of being here, graduating students, sending them on to their futures, this place became very quiet. It was almost deafening how quiet it got. It's like, there should be life here. There should be energy. And it was so quiet you could actually hear the 190 in the distance. I mean, that's too quiet. And we know what this campus meant to the community. It's sad. You just felt like, what does this say about us? Does this mean that our better days are behind us? But there are others who didn't give up, people who believed, our county executive, our mayor, others who pulled together elected leaders from our state legislature who said, we can do better, we can do something spectacular, Governor, just give us a chance. Sign this piece of paper and we can make it happen, right? I signed that piece of paper. I'm glad I did, for Pine Hill. Because I believe in this community. And we've had many governors live here, come and go. But for many, it was a primary residence. You know, we had Teddy Roosevelt, we had Franklin Roosevelt, we had Rockefeller, well, you know them all. I have spent more time here than any governor, I guarantee it. I love this community. I love this community. And I knew when I made a commitment to revitalize Albany, I would bring in my partners in government. But I said, sometimes you just have to put a big number out there and make the jaws drop. And I said, they said 250,000, I said go up. They said 300,000, I said go up. They said 350, I said, how about $400 million? How about $400 million for this community to have reborn, recatalyzed, reinvent Albany? Thank you. Thank you. And I have some great ideas as well, but I'm going to defer to my locals. But I think we're all on the same page. $150 million for renovations at the New York State Museum to make it a showcase for our state. We can do this. It'll be spectacular. Yes, we have collections from the past, but let's talk about the future. I want people to walk through there and little kids to see possibilities and technology unfolding and know the history of the progressive marches through time that all started here. Whether it was civil rights movement, started in, you know where it started, everybody? Buffalo. Niagara Falls, the Niagara movement was a precursor to the NAACP, right? We had the women's rights movement, 1848, Seneca Falls. We had Storm King Mountain, the environmental justice movement. The LGBTQ movement started at Stonewall over 50 years ago. We are that place where people come together and innovate new ideas and move progress forward. We've always been that. And I want that showcase in a place here in our capital so people feel that pride. And the whole era from Henry Hudson to today to the future, there's something really special here. But also, I talk about the highways, the roads, the connective tissue. The next phase of 787, this is how we reclaim our community and make up for decisions of the past that severed our communities, separated us from the waterfront. It happens so many places. Why didn't people value the water? I mean, look what happened in Buffalo, the 1-9. Look what happened in New York City, all over the state. People just put more asphalt down and either severed communities or just didn't care about creating connections to the waterfront. And the water here is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. We can do so much more with our waterfront. I know we can. So we're going to transform Albany starting right on this campus. I believe we can get it done here. It's a new day for New York. I look forward to hearing the vision, but Onramp right here on this campus says this place matters. It has value, and we're just getting warmed up. I'm so excited. I want to thank everybody who's part of this vision, and someday we'll look back and say the future of Albany got jump-started, revitalized, new life in it on this cold, dreary day in February in 2025, and the best is yet to come. Thank you very much, everyone. Let me bring up, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Let me bring up our great county executive, my partner in government for many years, County Executive Dan McCoy.
How do I follow that? So I do want to say, Governor, thank you for your partnership, your wisdom, and you know, it's unfortunately when you see a chapter here at St. Rose closing after 100 years, new life, new opportunities, and new foundations to be built here. Reimagine what this campus can be for not just the residents of the county, but for the Capital District and beyond. And when I sat down a while ago, and I hope you don't get mad at me sharing this story, and I had breakfast with the governor at the mansion, I was like going in there, I had a lobby list in my head, you know, and the laser focus shouldn't surprise anyone here. When the governor's sitting there, she's like, okay, Dan, what about this? What about that? Oh, and in the campus, I think it's a great idea, but what are you going to do? And are you looking at this? You're looking at that? I'm like, I'm here to lobby. I got to wait for her to stop. And she's hitting me with stuff of what she wants to do and what she sees. And no one should be surprised, because that's the governor we have. And I said this when she was lieutenant governor, and before that, battle-tested, battle-ready, laser-focused, that understands every level of government. And that was the only, well, not the only complaint I have with media, but that's one of the only complaints I said. I go, I can't argue with her, because every time I go to say, hey, you don't understand, and I worked with every other governor, she goes, oh, yes, I do. I was there. That's not true, what you're saying. And I'm like, darn it, we can't do that, right? We got to re-engage with this governor and figure it out. But to give hope and opportunity, when I heard the state of the state, and I know I'm going to vary a little bit, and I'll probably get in trouble from people, it was awesome. Not just to hear, oh, obviously that'd be a lie. I was glad to hear about everything about Albany County, the city of Albany, but to see the focus she had on the whole state in every area, from, you know, you look from Clinton County, St. Lawrence, Wyoming, it's like, what other governor's been around to every county in this beautiful state of New York, understands it when she was lieutenant governor, and says, hey, I haven't forgot. I know you need this. I know this would work here in this region. And when people go in to pitch things to her, she's like, yeah, I get it. I've been there 1,000 times. I know what you're talking about. I know what can help. And the biggest thing with the trades being here is when we try to figure out, we create these opportunities, and Kevin, to you and your team, thank you. But we always say they don't have the skill set or we need to get them trained. Should figure that out, Onramp. And to see the flagship in Syracuse and Utica, and I'm happy for all them, but to select Albany County, to select the city of Albany, to select this campus, to say, hey, here's Foundation County Executive, we're gonna get you here, and we're gonna create this opportunity for people to come and have a model. They can come from all over, not just Albany County, but all over the capital region, to walk through this beautiful campus, to enjoy the campus, but to get training, to get a job that leads to bigger and better things. And that's the hardest thing when we create all these jobs. The first thing we say in it, our legislature chairs here, Joanne Cunningham, Deputy Chair Wanda Willingham, it's like, all right, we're giving them money, but who in our county is going to have these jobs? And, you know, and we always say, yes, we're going to give them job training. We're going to figure it out. Governor, you figured it out. As always, you always figure it out. Being around a while and, you know, not to get into your predecessor, but to watch your skill set, to watch what you have done, to come in and be a willing partner, to roll up your sleeves says a lot. And I do want to say the $400 million is a game changer. You know, we were all thinking about it. I can't speak for Mayor Sheen, but we're sitting there going, that shocked me. I'm like, my jaw, I'm like, okay, I'm actually shocked. And to see the investment you're making in the museum and the investment you're making in downtown Albany, the investment you're making here, I can't thank you enough as County Executive Governor, and I do sincerely mean that this partnership has been great. I look forward to the rest of this year and next year and the 4 years beyond that, because I gotta tell you, if this is so unique to have a governor that understands every layer, but more importantly is saying, okay, we can point fingers, we can blame people, we can say it's their fault, but figures it out every time, figures out a solution to the problem that makes us get beyond that. Because if I spent my time in government arguing with people and pointing the fingers and blaming everyone, you wouldn't get anything done. And I understand we got to talk about the uncomfortable things that, you know, what's going on with the presidency and stuff like that, but to me that takes away from the variable of fixing the equation to what I can do for the people of this county. And to see you do this on the state of New York level, and to see you continue to do this, and she probably has a bunch of other announcements throughout the state, and I'm like, I can't sit there and go, well, how come not our county? And as I talk to other county executives across the state of New York and county managers, every time somebody goes to complain and say, well, they're not giving us any love, I'm like, wait, never mind, we're launching this program and we're having this opportunity. I go, all right, who's next, right? Who's gonna complain next? And it's always the follow-up. Yeah, no, I was wrong. They did think of us. And that's what you do. You think of everyone, not just in upstate New York, the 57 counties, but downstate to New York City, Long Island, Suffolk, Nassau, figuring it out. It's been an impressive watching you in your leadership as our governor, and I just want to say thank you. You know, as you look at this opportunity, and I do want to thank, I know President Marshall Wade's here, it's tough. Thank you, Marshall. To the board at St. Rose, they tried everything to make it work. Now it's our turn to make it work. And with your leadership, we're going to make this work, and we're going to figure this out. And it's going to be unique. And it's the model we're talking about. It's going to be a mixed use here. And you're going to see a lot more announcements like this. Thanks to the governor's office, thanks to the state of New York, thanks to our partnership in the legislature. You know, and again, it took a lot of people, and you're right. When I came up with the authority idea, and then I'm like, we got this passed, I go, well, who would be crazy enough to carry this? Pat Fahey in the assembly. She did it because she knows how to get it done. And I say, we got it done. And then I'm like, is the governor going to sign this? And then you signed it. And, you know, the rest is history, because that was what we needed to make these moves here. And without that partnerships and without doing that type of government, we wouldn't be announcing this unique opportunity here. And again, it's going to be a fabric for not just Albany County, but for the surrounding counties. This is going to be a transformational project that is going to help launch many more projects that you're going to see here. So I do want to say again, thank you. And, you know, it's hard enough sometimes in government to make things happen, and we get enough red tape. But to have this partnership here within the county, the city, and the state to figure it out, that's what we're here for. We're here for the people. We're not here for ourselves. We're not here for the glory of ourselves. We work for the people of this great state of New York, which I believe under the leadership of Governor Hochul has been the best state. And as president of County Executives of America, and I travel around, I met other governors, and I'm like, yeah, look what we're doing. Look what our governor's doing. It's nice. When I was going to Tennessee and they got all this stuff going on, or like, yeah, New York, we're doing it. And I'm like, oh, no. Our governor's doing that, and this is the stuff that we're doing in New York State. It's awesome I can brag on a national level of what our governor here is doing in the state of New York. So thank you, Governor, for that. I look forward to the ribbon cutting on this. I look forward to the opportunities, but to talk about Leo for a second, not everything clicks with everyone, right? It doesn't click at 18, 17, 19. Not everyone starts off and says, hey, I got through high school. And when I went to school, most people just your parents want you to get through high school and then go find a job. There was no, like, in my neighborhood, hey, you should go on to college and you should go get this trade. Here's a great opportunity for you. Or they didn't have the means to better themselves. And most people want to better themselves, and given that opportunity, hope. And I always say that's why there's light at the end of the tunnel. I hope. I always think of you now when I say hope. So, there's hope. I'm thinking you're at the end of that tunnel now, giving out checks and helping us out. So just to let you know, that's right. So, but to sit there and say you have hope and opportunity to better yourself. You can't sit there and say, well, I don't have the training, I never had the opportunity, can't afford it. That's the other big issue. Don't have the time. Governor said, yeah, we got all that figured out. We got that figured out. And we're going to do this Onramp program and make it work with tangible results to give people the opportunity to change their life, to have an opportunity to have a good paying job where you can decide whether you want to rent, buy a house, buy the car you want to buy, go on the trip you want to go on. And sometimes that sounds stupid when you sit there and you go, hey, I'm going on vacation. Most people can't even think about vacation. Vacation to them is maybe just hanging out in their backyard or going down the park, seeing this beautiful city and doing different things, but don't have the opportunity to go away because they can't afford it, because they're worried about how they're going to pay the rent, if they're going to have groceries on their table, if they can pay their heating bill. And you change all that, Governor. So thank you so much. And the effect it's going to have on life. So most of us in this room will never understand the game changer this is going to have on someone's life. And that's why, who better to come up here but to have Leo Saldana, right? Did I say it right? Close enough. You're going to give it to me because I'm here. To come up and share his story, to walk you through what he went through. And Leo, I got to tell you, you're the inspiration. You're like the guy I grew up with that, and woman that I grew up with that, look, changed the opportunity. And the light switch sometimes doesn't happen till you're 40 years old or 50 years older. Everyone's low or changing someone's life or that light bulb going off is different for everyone, And I know you sit there and you give the tools and resources, but sometimes it just has to click. It has to click. And that's what we need to do in government. That's a great partnership I have with our legislature. But better partner with this great governor of New York State. I just want to give you one more round of applause. And Leo, please come on up and share your story.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here on this special occasion. Today, I stand before you with tremendous gratitude and excitement as I reflect on the journey I have undertaken through the GlobalFoundries Registered Apprenticeship Program. This incredible opportunity has allowed me to accomplish a lifelong dream, one that I held close to my heart for many years, the dream of completing an academic program and proving to myself that I am capable of seeing it through. From a young age, I aspired to progress in my life. Over the years, I regretted not pursuing further education. However, I remained determined and continued my search, which eventually led me to the GF and the incredible opportunity to participate in this program. The classes and instructors I had through the apprenticeship with GlobalFoundries, Hudson Valley Community College, have been nothing short of extraordinary. Their unwavering support, guidance, and dedication have played an integral role in my success. I am immensely grateful to all the individuals who contribute to my educational journey, Once I graduated, additional opportunities opened up at GF, and I also been able to take on leadership roles. I would like to thank our GlobalFoundries management team for their unwavering support throughout this process, and to my fellow GlobalFoundries employees who were a constant source of encouragement and assistance. They all came together in support of me so I could succeed. The apprenticeship program with GlobalFoundries, CEG, and Hudson Valley Community College has helped me fulfill my dream and has given me a lifelong career in the semiconductor industry. This experience has shown me the incredible power of education and the potential it holds to transform lives. Governor Hochul, thank you for your investing in the Capital Region, and this partnership with all will allow other people to have this success. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our program, but please remain seated. We're now going to take some photos with representatives from the selected projects.